Okay, well today it's 7 a.m. Figured I'd get an early start. We're gonna have to change the timing cover gasket because right under here, this is the water pump. There's a water leak, and pretty much I have to fill it with water if I go more than 3 miles. So I got the new gasket set. I have the new part that goes over the water pump. It's a new I'm not sure what you call it, but it goes in between the water pump and the water pump pulley and the timing cover. It's like a seal. I have that sitting in the freezer, so it's actually easier to pop in. And when I get to that stage, I'll explain. But as you can see, it has spilled water a few times, and the system is pressurized, so anytime you have a leak, the engine gets very warm, everything in the radiator gets very warm, and anytime you go to open the cap, all the pressure comes out of here. That's why you can see all the surface rust. So first thing I want to do is drain the radiator. Radiator's here. That's the cap. That's the expansion tank. So all that has to be drained, and then I can start unbolting this pulley and the crank pulley. The car is in gear, so when I get down to the crank, I'll be able to just hopefully loosen that. So okay, let's get to it. Okay, so I removed this pipe. No water came out, which tells me the system is dry. And I loosened this. This is the water pump going to the thermostat housing. So I'm going to take this off, loosen these bolts here, and the water pump pulley should come off. Then the belt should lose its slack. So before I start, I took a picture of the belt and its orientation, so I know how to put the belt back on when I'm finished. Yeah, it's gonna need a flush. Okay, we'll come back a little bit. Okay, I got the water pump pulley out. It's right there. There's the 4 bolts right there. I also moved the temperature sensor away, but I kept it in a place where it's still holding the expansion tank. So the belt is now free. We'll get to that later. So now we can get to some of the bolts back there. Alright, let's get to it. We'll be back soon. Okay, so I've loosened a few of the bolts for the water pump. This one, that one, and I've also taken off the lower radiator hose that goes to the water pump. These two I've loosened, this one and this one. They're both kind of giving me a hard time, but I'll wrestle them off. And then there's a few more bolts, and then there's 4 bolts by the oil pan on the bottom, which I'll show you a little bit later. Okay, I'm gonna get back to it. We'll see you soon. Okay, well, I'm kind of missing an important step. I actually took out the fan, so it's one connection here. This goes into the overflow tank, and now I have a lot more room to do things. So now you just see the radiator, and the fan is over here, and the overflow tank is over there. So now we have more room to play. Okay, so I got 4 Allen key bolts on the crank pulley. I got another couple of bolts on the housing, and then we should be good to go. So we're gonna get to it. I would say we're almost halfway there. Okay, I lied about being halfway done. So took this hose off. I took this hose off, which is right there. I might need a new hose because kind of damaged it taking it off. So now I have access to those bolts, those two right there, and then the 4 on the bottom by the oil pan, and the 4 on the crank pulley, and I think I should be good. We'll see what else we find. Okay, so for all the bolts I've been using my ratchet with the extension or without the extension. The extension is right here, but for this one right there, this gets in the way and I don't want to move it, so I'm going to use a wrench, a 1/2 inch. These are all 1/2 inch, by the way. Okay, change of plans. So the tensioner pulley was in the way of this bolt and I couldn't get it with the tools I had, so I loosened the tensioner pulley bolt, and I'm going to take off the pulley and then I can get to the bolt behind. Okay, so working on the car, it started raining very bad. I got soaked. Yeah, I got hit pretty bad.
Yeah, I know, I saw you.
Yeah, man. Good luck. So, I'm gonna have to wait till this stops, and we'll get to it. Hopefully we can finish today. Okay, so it's kind of cloudy. It stopped raining. It's a very, very light drizzle, but it's kind of catch up to where we were. I ended up taking off the tensioner pulley, and I was able to loosen this bolt with my extension, and now I'm going to see if I can get these 4 bolts off the crank pulley here, and then there's 4 bolts on the bottom of the oil pan, so I'll jack up the car and do that in a minute. So we will come back in a bit. Okay, so the 4 crank bolts are bigger than anything that I have. So now I have to walk to Walmart to go get Allen keys, because I had a set of every conceivable size, but of course I don't know where it is, so I'm gonna walk to Walmart, get the Allen keys, and hopefully get this done today. Okay, I just got back from Walmart. A 1.5 mile round trip walk, and I bought these Allen keys and some coolant. Okay, the funny thing is, if this is metric and it's a 7 or a 9, that's gonna suck, but I'm pretty sure it's 3/8, so I got it. So we're gonna take off the crank, which is 4 Allen keys, and then see if we can pull this thing out. Okay, so of course I walk to Walmart, I buy this Allen key set, comes metric and standard, and it is a 7. So that was a wasted trip. 45 minutes. Okay. Correction. What am I doing? It ended up being an 8mm, so I got it off. 4 bolts are there and the pulley is there. Now I'm getting the crank pulley off the main nut. It's a 15/16, and I have my breaker bar, but every time I turn, the engine is turning over, so I gotta find a way to lock the engine. So when I get that off, It's a matter of just pulling it off, and then the 4 bolts by the oil pan. Okay, good news. It wasn't doing anything. Every time I tried moving it, it'll turn the engine. So I looked on the forums and they said put it in 4th or 5th gear. I did that and it came right off. So I'm just gonna, I've already got it hand loose, and now it's just a matter of getting it out and then pulling out the harmonic balancer. It's a 15/16. It's a pretty long bolt. There it comes in the washer. Okay, we'll set this on the side. Okay, so now I just got to pull that sucker off, and we're in business. Yep, got rain on again. Put everything away. If it stops, I'll go back out and finish. I'm almost done.